Hello. So, I just read Micah chapter 4, and this chapter steps away from that judgment we saw in the previous chapters, and it starts off talking about end times because it mentions in the last days, and it talks about how the nations are going to come to Zion, which, that's like Jerusalem. And God's going to come back. He's going to judge a lot of people, and he's going to rebuke nations that are far off. But it talks about times being more peaceful. I remember at one point there was beating your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Well, this says the opposite. People will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. So it's the reverse of what had happened in a different chapter. In the end of days, the wars will stop. There won't be any war. And everyone who's on earth will have to recognize God, and they'll be walking in his name. And this has to happen after Jesus comes back, after the final judgment on earth and the new kingdom is made. It's very encouraging, but it feels like we've been heading that way forever. Like waiting for a watch pot to boil, But once again, Jerusalem stands out. It's God's nation, his people, and they're going to stand out here. That's pretty important, I think. They did the work for our faith. Jesus is one of their descendants. The Jewish faith before the New Testament was the one who planted the seed and tilled the field and grew the plant. And we're now in the days where we just get to harvest it. We have the Word of God. We have a way to be saved. We have what we need. And for the last 2,000 years, we've just been harvesting. So it's kind of like, when is this harvest going to be over? When can we stop and eat? It is very encouraging. Just looking forward to the end times. I think we just need to have a perspective that there's war because there's sin. Just keep looking to God. He's the only one without sin. He's the only one who can save us. But stop trying to make our own utopia because it's coming. God makes it in his time. So all these politicians and stuff, or people thinking the world has to be perfect. Well, it's going to be perfect, but it'll be perfect when Jesus Christ comes back. It's already set in motion. We're already headed that way,